Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So how did everything go this weekend with the reopening of some parks?
It went mostly pretty well. We had a couple of spots where people need to pay more attention to not going into a crowded park and maintaining physical distance when they get in, but by and large, people did a great job cooperating.
Yeah, did you have, I know in Washington they had kind of ambassadors out, making sure people were keeping their distance. Were there parks employees out there doing something like that?
Well, we're not taking on as our job the need to directly remind people about the need for physical distance. We have a lot of postings out and constant reminders, both at the park and on the website. We're very short-staffed at the moment. What we really need is cooperation from people. I think everybody knows what they need to do. And the way we remind them of that obligation is with the postings at the park and with the website. We just don't have the staff to do much more than that.
Right, yeah. So what parks or places might we expect to reopen this week?
So there are limited openings all over the state. The Willamette Valley is slowly coming back online. You can expect some of the larger, busier parks like Silver Falls to take some time yet. We're not quite ready there for people to come back in, even in a limited way. But the rest of the Willamette Valley, portions of the Central Valley, down Southern Oregon, Eastern Oregon, Central Oregon, even over the weekend, some of those parks were able to swing open their gates. So if people check our website at OregonStateParks.org, they'll find an up-to-the-minute list of which parks have limited service and which ones don't.
Okay, and you mentioned Silver Falls might be one of the last places. Any other parks that you expect to see, take a while to reopen?
Yeah, so the Columbia Gorge will take more work, and the North Coast as well. One of the things that we did see this weekend were people testing the boundaries there, even though non-essential travel is still restricted by the governor's order, and even though our state parks on the North Coast are not open, we still had people parking alongside roads trying to get over barricades. People were compliant when we asked them to leave, but with all of the news out, it shouldn't come as a surprise that those parks are not ready yet. And in some cases, it's the park that's not ready. In some cases, it's the community that's not ready. And we really need people to respect those local wishes.
Yeah, yeah. And, we were talking about social distancing earlier. What are some of the other rules that people need to be following? Are they expected to wear masks when they're out, maybe doing these hikes or walks? What are you expecting of them?
So first and foremost, if you see a crowded park, go home, come back later. That's why short distance travel is really ideal. We do strongly recommend that you wear a face covering of some sort when you're out. And in some cases, after you get into a park, if there's room there in the parking lot and you get free of the parking lot, you can loosen face coverings. But on trails where you're likely to encounter people, we suggest that you do keep them over your face as much as possible. We also need you to bring as many of your supplies as possible: water, hand sanitizer, everything that you would maybe normally have at reach at home. We suggest that you bring that along with you because service is limited at the parks, even the ones that have open gates.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Chris. Some good information there. And for more information on the reopening of state parks and for a list of what's open and what's closed, as Chris just mentioned, you can go to KOIN.com. Thanks again, Chris.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah. Have a good morning.